Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Stephanie and this is Stephanie Builds Wealth. It has been a very long time since I have been back in the YouTube space sharing my experience as a first-gen American and navigating adulthood life, learning financial literacy very late in my life, and sharing my experiences from growing up in the family structure that I did and how it's reflecting to how I understand money now as an adult. Welcome back. It's been a lot of things. Let's get into it. So a quick recap. I started this channel as a way to help keep myself accountable and to stay focused, eyes on the prize for why I am in the debt that I'm in, how to make myself accountable to stay on track to pay it off. And hopefully the things that I'm experiencing and learning can help other people to improve the quality of their life and give them the confidence to do the research and make changes to help improve their life. I needed to take some time off and really buckle down and process a lot of things because from spring of last year to summer of last year to now spring of this year, many things happened. In spring of last year, I realized after my first review with the company that I was never going to get where I needed to be financially and professionally. The money wasn't there, and in order to move up in the company for my field, they actually removed that title from the field and restructured the department. So getting ahead in my career was just never going to happen. Hitting the financial milestones were never going to happen. And it prompted me to get into serious get shit done mode. And I ended up doing a ton of research on my own and with the help of LinkedIn and ChatGPT to create a 6-figure resume with the skills that I had as a notary, as a document specialist, as a contract administrator, to land a contract administration manager and or executive position. I was successful in doing that. There was a lot of preparation and training and prep to craft the correct type of resume, to practice interviewing, and I did get the position. And basically from June to the end of the year was just very overwhelming in the sense that I was processing a lot of financial and professional stress from the job that I was leaving. I was processing the fact that I was not hitting my milestones for my knee surgery recovery, and I was most likely going to have another surgery to correct the issues that presented themselves for where I was at my recovery, and that was a lot to process. I was also processing the fact that I was going to have to really get serious about doing IVF and having a baby as I turned 41 at the end of last year and realized that I was basically just kind of having to do a now or never type thing. Just processing the fact that I was experiencing a different level of financial awareness that I had never reached before, personally or professionally. And I also had to keep on track with my paralegal education, which really took a back seat. So there was a lot of things going on that I couldn't film and just stick to a script and numbers and talk to people. There was a lot of mental and emotional and physical things I was processing all at the same time, and I couldn't really do it with integrity without it coming off as a scramble or confusion. So I figured, let me just dip out, do what I have to do, get my thoughts together, get my finances together, get my health together, and then we come back, and then I can stay consistent with sharing my experience of where I'm at now. So that being said, this is my first video of 2025, and it is March 22nd, I believe. My partner got me a laptop, so I'm going to be teaching myself how to film in that medium, which is going to be different than this format here. It's most likely going to be just me filming myself and then using tools or a whiteboard to show visuals. That's going to take a little bit of learning curve to get that down. I completed my first review with my company, with my new company, And considering that I was only there for 6 months and I did a significant amount of world building with databasing and organizing and reporting systems, I actually was quite surprised that I did receive not only a very generous bonus, but also a salary increase, which has helped me considerably to get where I'm at right now. Now, for the last couple years, we'll say during COVID, my debt numbers went up significantly because I was a surgical tech and I was not employed consistently during those 4 years. It was very difficult to get any type of income because I was a surgical tech, not a nurse. And when there aren't enough beds in the hospital because of COVID patients or sick patients, the surgery would have to basically stop unless it was a critical emergency surgery in order to utilize one of those beds that was designated for other patients. So I ended up relying on credit cards quite a bit, cash advancing on a lot of credit cards to pay my bills month by month because my salary went from 80 to 90,000 down to about 20, 25,000 overnight. It brought my numbers up significantly over those 5 years. I was having a very difficult time, even when I did get employment at my previous employer. I couldn't break that 70,000 K of debt. I would get down just past it and then something would happen and I would have to stack more debt on top of it. And it was very disheartening, was very frustrating and depressing that as hard as I was working, as much as I was sacrificing in my personal life, I just couldn't get past that number. And I'm very happy to share with you all that I have made some serious dent in my overall debt numbers. With my bonus, I was able to pay off quite a few credit cards and also pay down a significant amount of debt that was remaining for the larger balances. And I'm very excited to share with you. So right here, let me see if I can get this whole thing. Okay, good. I was able to dig up my old marker board. The last number that I had for my debt balance towards the end quarter of 2024 was $72,660.36. At this moment, as of today, the 2025 end of month, March total is $65,011.05. A big part of that was a very generous bonus from my employer, an increased salary utilizing the velocity banking technique to help pay things down quicker. Also, a big chunk of this too was because I still have an outstanding balance to the state for unemployment, my tax return was absorbed by them and I got a notice that almost $2,700 went to the balance of that, bringing it down significantly. So there's a lot of things that worked in my favor to bring this down. And altogether, that means that between last summer and today, I was able to pay off $7,649.31 of debt. And I finally am seeing the fruits of my labor, and I was able to pay down enough to break the 70,000 mark. I am so excited. Celebrations are in order because Lord knows we need them on this journey. I can't tell you how incredibly happy it feels to be able to do this. On top of the fact that within this week, I realized that I was having a potential housing issue with appliances. There was a leak that occurred last fall where the fridge and the water line busted and flooded the entire floor overnight. It took 2.5 months to repair and get everything up and going again. And the old fridge was leaking again. So I did some research and was able to get a brand new fridge, a $2,000 fridge off of Facebook for $500 because it was a floor model and had some scratches and dings on it from the price chain being on the handle. It was delivered, the old one was removed. I was able to go to Home Depot and get a $7 adapter to connect the water line to the new fridge, easy peasy. And I was also able to repair the upstairs toilet in my room that was leaking for months and causing problems. I still have enough left over to make sure that I can get the tires changed out and the brakes changed out and then the oil changed out in my car. The fact that I was able to get all of this done, pay the debt down as much as I have, is incredible, because just a few months ago, that just was not gonna happen. It was just simply not gonna happen. It just wasn't. And so it feels really good to know that I am moving in the right direction after so much struggle and sacrifice. I'm gonna go ahead and share some numbers with you all. I mean, I'm just so excited to have this. I haven't been able to do this in quite some time and really show some actual movement. So I'm very excited about this. For 2025, I've been looking at this for the last couple months, and I think I'm going to update my affirmations. I have been working with these for so much that it doesn't really have an impact anymore, because this is already a part of my consciousness. This is already a part of my truth. I think I need to make some new ones to really impact my mind when I see them. I want to show my updated debt chart. I only have a few left now, and I did do some calculations with ChatGPT, since I am not very good at math, and I use that to help me figure this out. Keep everything the same with my new salary and my new 401k and my new savings updates and my new sinking funds withdrawals, the money that I have left over. I should be able to pay off the Capital One card, the mattress card, the US Bank card, and one of the personal loans by the end of this year. However, I have not written down a payoff schedule, because I'm gonna have to really get serious and cram with my IVF journey. I'll be turning 42 in a couple months, and I don't know how difficult it's gonna be for me to get pregnant. It might take more than one go. So I will have to move the liquid money that would be going to the debt payoff to paying off for those things in cash, as my insurance does not cover family planning. I have an idea of what I can do. The reality of what I will be able to do this year is going to change very much, and I won't really know until we're there. So as of now, my debt is at $65,1105. I'm very happy with that. This column used to be full from top to bottom. Now I have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, including the state, which is incredible. I also have an update on my wealth building. I have Fidelity Individual, which I just opened up. I have 400 balance in there. I have basically 2 shares of a Fidelity 500 index fund. I have been able to stay on track with keeping my 401k match at 6%. Now, I did realize something when I started printing out my pay stubs, because I wasn't paying attention to my pay stubs, since I was salary and everything pretty much stays the same. And I know it's the same because when the paycheck hits my account, it's the same. So I didn't need to print a paycheck every single pay period, because nothing was different. I did, however, in order to calculate how much money that I would have going into this year and then this year after my payday, I did notice that the company match is not a 50-50 match, which was what I was in the impression of, which is what I was told. That is not correct. So I was under the impression that if I match 60% or 6%, which is the max company match, that they would match dollar for dollar. That is not true. For example, I was contributing $250, and then they would contribute $125. So it's not $250, unfortunately. But you know what? I'll take it. Free money on the table is free money on the table. I'll take it. And then my Robinhood account went down quite a bit, because I ended up selling off some very low dividend yielding stock. That's where the 400 came from, where I opened up a individual Fidelity account specifically for high yield index funds. And then total so far, my investments is $4,855.51. And this isn't really an impressive number to most people who are much more advanced in their investing, I guess, years. But for a person who has struggled financially since her 20s and didn't have really any financial literacy beyond just managing a checkbook and keeping a couple bucks in a savings account, I'm incredibly happy that I've been able to do this. This is honestly the most money that I've ever been able to have in my retirement accounts because I had no clue what it was for. And when I did learn what it was for by my mid to late 20s, I was not in a financial position to just leave it alone. So I had to keep pulling from it to survive. And I'm very excited that I'm able to break 500 with April's first check, most likely. Actually, no, probably the end of April. So very excited, very, very excited that there was a lot of work being put in the last couple months. I'm in a much more calm and relaxed headspace. I'm much more calm and relaxed emotionally. I have a game plan for my physical health. I'm going to just go through with the IVF process. And then if I need to have another surgery, it's gonna have to wait until after the kid is born because I can't do that before. I just don't feel like having been doing the physical therapy and then waiting to get pregnant because, again, I'm 42 in a couple months and my hormone levels could change at the drop of a hat, and I might only really be able to have a baby by the end of this year, and that could change at the beginning of next year. I really don't know. So I need to do the most triage thing first, which is the baby thing first. And then I can go ahead and take care of any corrections with my knee next year if I need to. Also, that gives me more time to save up for my copay balance. And then I also know that I have to save up money for the surgery center copay and then the anesthesia because I'm gonna have to most likely save for that as I go through this year for the delivery of the baby and all that jazz. I feel I'm in a much better place. I can't tell you how excited I am to finally break that $70,000 debt barrier. It's wild to me that it took so long for me to do that, and I was just living on bare bones and sacrificing every single day, not really being able to enjoy much. I have since now paid off enough debt, and I've been able to maintain some, personal spending on things. Like I've been able to maintain my massages and maintain my gym membership, which is really great for my health. I don't feel like I'm so restricted and, depressed. Let's see, how do I feel mentally about things? I have been playing a couple games with myself where I've been trying to do baby steps to get over my scarcity mindset. Now, again, this is something that my parents had growing up. It's what they instilled in me when I was growing up. And even as an adult, they still express a lot of scarcity mindset. So if you're a person like me and you grew up in a scarcity mindset family, a resource scarcity family, when you get money and you are in debt, typically you want to just put the money towards that as fast as you can because you don't know if you're going to have that money available in 2 weeks or even a week later, even a couple days later sometimes. So what I was playing to help reprogram my brain and reprogram my processes is I'd play a game with myself where I would have X amount of money to put towards debt for the month. And instead of paying it immediately, I would put it into a savings account where I would have to look at it when I would check my accounts. And I would just sit with the fact that, I have $1,000 to put towards debt. I should put that towards debt. And it's taken several months of reprogramming where I can put money aside, grow it, and then pay off a big chunk of debt or put it into a savings account. and not feel anxiety that the money is going to go away, that the money is going to disappear, that I don't have enough money, which is a very deeply enrooted feeling to people who grew up with resource restrictions and a lot of scarcity. And I am now in a place where I know I have a plan for my debt payoff, and I know that if I can just put literally any amount towards credit cards that have high interest or loans that have high interest, I should just throw it at it every chance I get. And I'm controlling myself now and telling myself, look, whether you put $5 towards the credit card today or 500 in 2 weeks or 1,000 at the end of the month, you're still paying down the debt. You're still okay. You're not struggling. You're not starving for food. You're not having to hitchhike to work. I can afford gas. My car works fine. I have enough money in the bank. My sinking funds are funded. I'm okay. And that has been, it seems like a really silly thing to think about or, to gamify, but for people who haven't experienced scarcity, that's a very real feeling. It's a very anxiety-provoking experience when you think, okay, I have this much money now, I have to do X, Y, Z because I don't know how much money I'm going to have left in 5 days, and I might not be able to do the things that I want to do. So if that is perhaps a technique that might work for you, and you can start off with, small amounts and then maybe build up, try it, see how you feel. It'll most likely give you a lot of anxiety, make you feel very uncomfortable, but that's the point of learning financial literacy and breaking old patterns that we grew up with that are very harmful to us as adults and very harmful habits to teach to our children, because we don't want them to feel the same way that our grandparents did, because we felt that way, so now they feel that way. So that's where I'm at now. I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure that I can do a follow-up every month and just sort of drop in and maybe talk about things I'm feeling or things that I've learned. But I'm very happy that I can come back to you all, and I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I feel much better, much more relaxed. I have a game plan for a couple things with as far as my finances and my health for the next year or two, and it's going to be baby steps, but I mean, at least we're doing our best. We're showing up as best we can, and we're showing up because we want to be here. So thank you so much for letting me share my story, letting you know where I've been, letting you know that I've been able to stay on track with things. I didn't fall off the wagon. I didn't go into more debt. I've been working really hard to get my head right, to get my emotions right, to get my health right, to prepare for this new baby and then a potential surgery next year. So I hope this helps anyone who is struggling with that mindset of growing up with a family experiencing scarcity and then realizing you're experiencing that same thing as an adult. And I wish you guys a really great weekend. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.